Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
How's that heat treating you? Hydration, people. Pump it in you. Heck, I think an IV would be good. I was talking about that with my cousin last week back home. We'd actually discussed it a few years ago. I don't think it would work around here, even though, to me, this is the golf capital of the world. I just don't see where people would reach deep into their pocket. But I've never had the IV before as a recovery for a hangover. I've seen it in Vegas. I've seen it a few places, and people swear by it. I think for you entrepreneurs out there, that would be a phenomenal idea. Find your way to get on golf course, get on golf courses, let's make it plural, and just kind of ride around like a cart girl and set people up with an IV. Because my understanding is that you can drink until, the morning hours, get this IV in you, and you are set to go. That is the number one definition of a hangover. It's dehydration. And, you're always talking about mixing in water with beers. I had that in my latest. I think right now, if you look at the calendar year of 2024 and 2025, I lead Duval as far as total colonoscopies. I am right now your leader in the clubhouse. And I've had, yes, thank you. Thank you very much. It's just so enjoyable, man. The Michael Jackson drug works, and like those 15 seconds are like the greatest 15 seconds that anyone can possibly have, right? And I tell you, a few years ago, really got me. I actually know this gentleman. He's a doctor, and he's in charge of the anesthesia and what have you. And I'm really freaked out about it because if you remember my days back in the ball when I had neck surgery, they went in, they nicked my vocal cord. So I had like a paralyzed vocal cord when I was fired from the ball. Too bad there wasn't any good lawyers back then. There's plenty of good lawyers now. But I knew. Actually, they all approached me. I said, listen, if I sue a radio station, I'm never going to get another gig, right? You don't hire guys who sue. So I sounded like Burgess Meredith from Rocky for a little bit. And then, I went across the dial here and also did a show back in Tallahassee, simulcast where I went to Chicago. But the anesthesia, it was hilarious because he's like, all right, let's start. He's under. And I could hear him and I could see him. And that was like my last memory. But anyway, dehydration, coffee will hurt you. Certainly beers and alcohol will hurt you. What a brilliant idea. Follow people on the golf course. Instead of it being a golf cart, have it be a golf cart / IV to hook up the people. Today I cut the lawn and I was saying yesterday, how to deal with this heat. Wow. Man, it was absolutely incredible today. So I want to take my hat and tip it to all of you blue-collar workers out there working it. I know you're used to it, and you can find ways to get through it, certainly with hydration. But, man, it is blistering outside. So I think it's a great idea. What do you think, JJ? We could put that together, Ballou and JJ, the IV cart.
I love the idea. I've never had an IV put in me for any reason, so I'm like sort of squeamish to think, like, does it hurt?
No, it doesn't really.
It's just like a little pinch?
Yeah, it's a pinch.
That's fine. But, and you don't need to be a health professional to put it in anyone?
Yeah, here's my concern with it. No. Yeah, that's a good question. I was thinking of blonde, in a bikini. Yeah. Sure. How much? $100? Here you go.
Start sticking it in
And by the way, have a better attitude than most cart girls out there who cruise up to you and say, are you guys all right? Hell no, we're not all right. I need another six-pack. I need a shot. I mean,
worse sales than ever.
How are you going to make money? It just blows my mind.
I guess the alcohol sells itself, so they feel like they don't need to do it.
Yeah, but you could make so much money
I agree.
as a golf cart girl if you presented yourself the right way every time you go to the next hole. I mean, look at these 4 studs. Look at these guys. You must be thirsty. I got a 6-pack special. I got a shot special. What can I get for you? Bloody Marys. Do you want? Instead, it's, you guys all right?
Maybe complimenting your golf game.
Yeah. How you making money when you guys are all right? Here's the problem, because I know I play a lot of golf around here in town. People aren't going to pay it. And I see people run for their cars, don't want to pay $3 or $4 to a guy cleaning their clubs, right? I see people who won't fix divots. I see people who, when the cart girl comes, they run because they've got 6 beers already stashed in their cooler or golf bag. If you're patrolling, and it costs $100 to fix yourself up with an IV, I just don't think the market is ever going to work. Maybe it's some private courses. Maybe it's some places where, you're a member at a country club and you spend a tremendous amount of money, and if you're not feeling well, I mean, my understanding is that it does fix you. If you ever tried it, let us know. I haven't yet. 641-1010. That is the way to get to us, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. All right. Can't believe I started with that considering what tonight is. The hype is here. It is the NBA draft. Brooklyn, Cooper Flag, going off to Dallas. I saw this a little bit earlier today, and I know, JJ, you and I talked about it a couple of years ago. It's only a matter of time. And it just blows me away to actually say this. But they believe that Cooper Flag could be the first ever billion-dollar athlete when it's said and done. He will sign the rookie contract, which will take him from 2025 to 2028. These numbers are courtesy of Spot Track, which we use all the time for Jaguars information and what have you. It's a very, very good website. For those of you, I think both Spot Track and OverTheCap.com. Sometimes they have different numbers, but everyone's got different numbers, right? Everyone knows how to cook the books, and everyone knows how to push this here and push that there. But anyway, according to Spot Track, Cooper Flag, $62.7 million will be his rookie contract that'll take him through the latter part of 2025 through 2028. If he gets the 30% Supermax extension, it's going to pay him $359 million the years 2029 through 2023. If he gets another 35% Supermax extension, 2034 through 2038, he will make $509 million. You add all that up, that's $930 million, and he'll only be 31 years of age. Now, I'm not going to come out here and project anything when it comes to Cooper Flag because we've seen massive misses before with top picks in every single draft, especially Major League Baseball, right? For the most part, the top pick in the NFL draft works, at least percentage-wise. It's better than the NHL. It's certainly better than Major League Baseball. I guess we could have a healthy argument about the number 1 overall pick in the NBA compared to the NFL. But even at the age of 31, let's just say for our conversation, why not? That this man stays in shape, he remains, and who knows, he could end up being one of the great players in the league. He's got to make up $70 million at the age of 31, but what they're, paying NBA athletes, and especially what they'll be paying NBA players by the year 2039 and going into 2040 is going to be, I can't even imagine. This guy actually has a chance in, let's say, 2041, maybe 2042, to be the first ever $1 billion athlete as far as team athletics. And they only play 82 games. You would think that baseball would be the sport, and it still may be. Baseball may still get, what Paul Skeens, all this hype about Skeens today, and he actually lost Mirazowski outshined him a little bit earlier today. Neither team could really put up runs, but Milwaukee, it's not too often that you really talk about a Brewers-Pirates game, but you had these two young, sensational pitchers on the bump, and I read an article today about how Paul Skeens could be a 30-game winner. Have we had a 30-game winner since Denny McClain? I don't think we have. With the Detroit Tigers, late 60s maybe. Might have been 1970, but I think it was in the late 60s.
Yeah, 68.
Yeah. We haven't had and again, that's when you threw complete games. You look at Skeens now, he's 4-7. Okay, but the game has changed. You don't necessarily look at wins and losses. You look at WHIP. You look at the earned run average. You look at new numbers as they continuously do change. I think baseball is going to change. It's not going to happen in football. I just don't think so. With the salary cap still being healthily managed by the NFL, I don't think an Arch Manning in a year or, even if it's 6-7 years down the road, I just don't think you can pay that amount of money to one player.
$50 million for 20 years?
And still be a successful franchise. Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds crazy, but let's just say you played a 45 years old. It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like if we have to wait 25 years from now, an NBA player will already have done it.
All right. Is there anyone who's playing right now? Because let's eliminate hockey, and I'm going to eliminate football. You don't have to if you don't want. But is there anyone playing basketball right now or baseball right now that you can see being a $1 billion athlete?
I thought maybe Ohtani, but he's a little old at this point. No, not that's in the league right now.
Right. They're in high school.
Not yet, exactly.
They're in junior high. They're in high school.
They're in the DR somewhere.
Mm-hmm. It's a matter of time. It is. But, everything changes right in front of us. Can you imagine explaining to, your father or your mother or your granddad or your grandpa who passed a few years ago or maybe passed a decade or two ago, and if somehow you had a calling and you were able to have a conversation and say, there is a $1 billion professional athlete. I remember when it was a huge deal. I think it was Nolan Ryan was the first ever baseball player to sign for $1 million. And then you had that big year. It was like four guys got a 4-year, $12 million deal. It was like Ricky Henderson. I think it was Tony Gwynn. I think it was like Robin Yount. And it was like they're making $3 million a year. I was alive. I was a kid when those numbers rolled in. And, you're paying $3 million now to guys that come out of the bullpen and get a couple of outs and may pitch, 50, 60 innings a year. They're actually able to bring in that type of wage. So anyway, I just find it, again, all of these numbers, according to Spot Track, it really kind of blew me away. And we have had conversations about this previously on the program, but I just had never seen it anywhere else. If you want to share your 2 cents with us on it, by all means, reach us. Best way to do it is 641-1010. That is the text line. We also do want to welcome the good folks watching us tonight on YouTube at 1010XL into the night.
Now, that billion is just, to make it clear, that's just contract through the team.
Oh, yeah.
Because we definitely have athletes who have made $1 billion.
Absolutely.
Like
with
LeBron's
endorsements.
definitely a billionaire or close to it.
Jordan,
Jordan,
Tiger,
absolutely. Probably
soccer players.
Messi and Ronaldo. Yep. Mayweather has definitely, in career earnings and, through endorsements, is probably around $1 billion. Yep. But that's really it. There's not too many of them.
No, I'm not talking about endorsements.
Yeah,
I'm talking
through
about
the club.
Just from the team. And
which is insane to
it
think
is. I can't comprehend it. And of course they're overpaid, but then when you look at what the owners are making, they're not overpaid. And again, you got this huge collusion situation that's going on right now, headed up by Mike Florio and who's the other guy? Torrey? Is it Pablo?
Pablo Torres.
Right.
Yeah.
They
great job.
They got together and did some, buddy journalism, and they're really on to something here. I mean, it appears the league totally colluded, especially when you look at the fact that a couple of years ago, there were no offers for Lamar Jackson. Not one. Okay, the year prior to that, there were, before the alleged, let's no longer approve guaranteed quarterback deals on the heels of the Deshaun Watson ridiculous contract in Cleveland, people forget that it wasn't only Cleveland. The Saints, the Falcons, and the Panthers were deep into the negotiations to get Deshaun Watson. They were willing to give up multiple first-round picks. They were ready to sign this guy to huge, huge numbers. You had 4 teams rolling out the red carpet for Deshaun Watson. A year later, you did not have one team offering Lamar Jackson. So, I mean, you do the math there. And again, they have the proof of what was actually said about, limiting guaranteed deals in the NFL. I think this thing is going to be very time-consuming. Mike Florio, for what it's worth, did reach out to both the NFL and the NFL Players Association yesterday. Neither one responded. Isn't that great? You can just be so powerful and say, hey, he's a media guy. We're not going to respond. But this is going to grow and grow and grow. If you've been looking around, you're seeing that this has really been picking up some steam. The biggest problem right now for the NFL is this is like the only time in their calendar year where they really don't have something going on. The NFL is genius when it comes to 12 months a year, always something. But right now, we're in a little bit of a lull with training camp, less than a month away. For the most part, if you hear news now, NFL related, it's bad news outside of guys getting signed. Case in point, Bashal Tuten. It's on today with your Jacksonville Jaguars. Matter of fact, I threw that out on Twitter. I'd like you to respond to that as well. I put 300 yards. I know a lot of people are down on ETN. I think a lot of people believe that Tank is going to be the bell cow. The Bashal Tuten situation, in my opinion, you could really write any script. You could reference Bucky Irvin a year ago and how he took over and had the majority of the carries under Liam Cohen in Tampa Bay, a 4th-round pick as a rookie. Or you can reference his 9 fumbles at Virginia Tech and say he fumbled here. We saw it in the very first practice. He puts it on the carpet and he grabs the bench. But I set it at 300. So we'll give you an opportunity to go over and under on that. Where are you going with Bashal Tuten?
Probably under. I mean, I thought that they would get rid of ETN by now, and the fact that he's still on the team makes me think that he's going to be the 3rd-string running back this year.
Yeah, we'll see.
Although he looked great against Miami last year. He's fast. He's low to the ground, and he's built. I think he's going to be good in the NFL, but not this season. Travis Etienne, his fumble in Miami was the only time he's turned the ball over in 900-plus touches. Yeah, and he's remembered for that. Exactly. It was week 1, and it set the season back. And, yeah, we had a lot of texters, during primetime, people say, he fumbles. He's got to hold on to the ball. And every texter's always like, hey, you fumbled one time. But it's just, tattooed in your memory. It's like Bill Buckner. It's like Chris Webber. Yeah. I mean, the vibe is down right now on ETN. I happen to think he's going to put together some good numbers in this Liam Cohen offense because I think they're really going to utilize him in the screen game. I don't expect them to have as many carries as Bigsby. And again, the Tuten deal, it's one of the, I think, many storylines as we head to training camp. Anything you write, I mean, you kind of know what you want to expect with Travis Hunter, right? I mean, it's unlimited. And Brian Thomas Jr. and stars on this team. But, we're talking about a rookie here in Tuten. And we're talking about a rookie with a major question mark. It's hanging on to the football. Last year, Jacksonville was minus 15 in the turnover takeaway ratio. You cannot win football games when you have a takeaway ratio that is plus 15.
I mean, they only had 9 turnovers last year on defense. Actually, 8 on defense, 1 on special teams. Just sad. And, for what it's worth, some was on video. I even put it out there when we were allowed to film it. They were working on quite a few drills in camp, even in non-contact, about trying to take the football away. All right, we got a ton to do tonight. I am absolutely fired up to be here. Middle of the week. We are saying goodbye to June. You got to be kidding me. What is it, the 25th? Where is the time gone? We got plenty to do tonight. Do want to thank the good folks over at Shmunez Vision. I got to cut the lawn, put the glasses on. I used to not cut them with the glasses on. I'm like, nah, I don't need glasses. Whatever. I have trouble seeing the lines. I want to keep it cool. I want to look like Fenway Park over there in Bartram Springs. And Dr. Shmunez is like, you wouldn't believe how many people get injuries when it comes to shrubbery or sticks or whatever it will be, especially when it's been really hot. And, I'm watering the lawn right now. I guess we're going through a little bit of a drought, at least where I live. Take advantage of that tip. It's very simple. You're really supposed to wear eye goggles. I don't think that many of you are going to go that route. Okay. But glasses, absolutely put them on. Now, I visited with Dr. Neil Shmunez right before I went away, but probably about 3 weeks or so ago. Had an opportunity to meet with him. And again, you're talking about far more than 30 years of experience when it comes to surgery on your eyes, whether it's something you would want, like laser eye surgery, 20/20 for the rest of your life, or something that you need because there's an issue, refractive surgery, cataract surgery, unlimited. Why don't you make an appointment today? Also, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt, you're talking about more than 30 years worth of experience when it comes to surgery on your eyes. Go to their website, Shmunez Vision, as well. Go to Instagram and get all of the testimonials at Shmunez Vision. He is JJ LaSelva. I am Rick Ballou. We call this Into the Night.
Life is a contact sport. Get in the game with 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Ballou here for Shmunez Vision. Why Shmunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Shmunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Shmunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Shmunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit ShmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnik Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnik's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnik. For 3 generations, Nimnik has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right, and they give a bunch back to the community. Visit NimnikBuickGMC.com today to learn more or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy.
Jacksonville, Florida. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too. From Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron. Totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens. Also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
Take a radio boat ride with Captain Cabin on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Wheeled in by the Pest Pros at Royal Pest Services and Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
Oh, no.
You okay in there?
Toilet's backed up. It won't flush.
Okay, I'll call the pros.
The tank isn't filling. The handle does nothing. Run for your life.
Don't be so dramatic. Duck Duck Rooter will fix it.
For any plumbing issue, call Duck Duck Rooter, your local plumbing professionals and proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. DuckDuckRooter.com.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
ET here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find Scratch Kitchen that always comes in the clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar. Hit a home run for happy hour and ask your Twin Peaks girl about local specials on drafts, cocktails, shots, and more. Come on, somebody.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. The 4th is a few weeks away, and I know what you're thinking. I can't start Awaken 180 weight loss because I want to eat on the long 4th of July weekend. Well, guess what? You can eat hamburgers on Awaken 180 weight loss. You can eat chicken, steak, or pork, too. You can even eat lobster because you're eating real food and losing weight. More important, it's fast, easy, and safe. No chemical shots, no counting calories or points, or any other fad diet. I can't stress this enough. You eat real food every single day. You know what else you're doing while losing weight with Awaken 180? Eliminating pain, fitting into clothes you haven't worn in years, sleeping through the night and waking up refreshed and energized and happy. I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180, and Hacker lost more than 110. And you know what? You can lose whatever you want. It doesn't matter what your goal weight is. Awaken 180 weight loss will get you there quickly and safely by eating real food every single day. Awaken 180 weight loss is the clear path to success without disappointment. Give them a call, 844-346-1800, or go online, awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Imagine what Michael Jordan would make if he was the #1 pick tonight in the draft, or just in the first round in general. Cooper Flagg could end up being the first ever NBA player or any player in any team sport to reach $1 billion. And Spot Track did break it down for you. You can go ahead and check that out. We went over it to begin the program. We're going to certainly get back to it. Did you see? I know you venture into the professional handicapping that right now for Cooper Flagg. I mean, this is insane. You would have to lay down $1,000 to win $1.
$1. So that's even bigger. That's even worse odds than the Cam Ward odds, really. I'm surprised it's even still on the board at this point. And the second pick is supposed to be like pretty much a lock as well. Everyone says like the draft's starting at 3 this year. Locally, everybody's worried about second pick Dylan Harper. Mm-hmm. Everybody locally is just thinking, where's Walter Clayton Jr. going to end up?
Exactly.
I'm seeing a lot of 20 to the Heat buzz.
But that'd be cool to keep him in the state.
Would be.
I'm sure there's some people out there that just, for the sake of being able to say that they did it. We'll ask Rafael Esparza about this
Bet
next hour.
$1,000 on.
Put $1,000 to win $1. I mean, you got to be well off obviously. I mean, it's got to be like, between the cushions and your couch type money, you're that well off that you can afford to do something like that.
Maybe bet $100,000 to get a dinner's worth of money. Nice dinner out on your $100,000 bet.
That is incredible. It really is. I want to get back to this in 1 second, but I do want to remind you that tonight's show is brought to you by Alexander Law and the Alexander Law practice. Rick Alexander, he has made it his mission to fight for you, and he's done so now for well over 30 years. His team does focus on guiding you through the entire process. He has been rated AV since 2004 by Martindale and Hubble. It is the gold standard, really, for anyone in the practice, and it comes from the peer review ratings. Less than 10% of all attorneys actually do get this incredible rating. Now, he's all about being injured in a car accident, personal injury. All right, if that is you and you are up against it and your car is ruined and you can't get to work and you can't pay bills and you've tried calling some of these huge firms and they haven't gotten back to you, well, everything stops right here. First off, you're going to get an immediate phone call back. 400-6600. It's a free consultation. Also, you're going to get the individualized treatment that you deserve. And that is only part of the process there with Alexander Law. So check him out online. Go to Alexander Law Practice. Or again, for a free review, just go to 400-6600. I do want to move on to some Jag stuff here, but we mentioned Jordan. Just in your opinion, you can take Babe Ruth from playing, in the teens and 20s, or Nolan Ryan played 27 seasons in Major League Baseball.
Throwing gas.
I mean, I know I'm putting you on the spot. I'll give you mine as well. But just in any player from any era, what they did as far as seasons, accrued, who would you put in there as the five who could make the most amount of money? I think I'd still put Jordan in there, even though, what did he end up playing? 14 years when it was all said and done?
Took a couple off, came back later.
Yeah. The most NBA players, by the way, Vince Carter has played the most ever, 22 seasons. There's 6 others who have played 20 years, including LeBron, Vince Carter, Dirk Nowitzki, Kevin Garnett, Kevin Willis, and Robert Parrish.
Yeah, 14 years for MJ. I would probably say it's just like who had the best longevity-wise. It's got to be Brady up there.
Hank Aaron?
Yeah, Hank Aaron is absolutely the perfect answer in baseball just because he was so consistent for so freaking long. Yeah, I wouldn't put Babe Ruth up there because I think he did it in a sort of a shorter amount of time. In basketball,
Willie Mays played 23 years.
Did he?
Willie Mays is in there.
Hockey, I guess you'd have to go with what's his name for Washington. How long has he been playing?
I think he's played 19 years.
How long did Gretzky play?
I think he played around 20.
Oh, he played more than that. Okay.
Yeah, because he was well-traveled at the end. He went to St. Louis and L.A. and New York. And I think he might even have had a fifth stop besides Edmonton.
Baseball, I mean, he's not a star, but the funniest answer is Julio Franco, who was not only playing well into his 40s and like late 40s, but he was still swinging like the heaviest bat in baseball at the time. And he also had the craziest batting stance of all time, where he had to bring the heaviest bat in the league all the way around his head just to make contact. And there was some steroid speculation, let's just say that, with a guy who's like 47 years old with the biggest arms in baseball.
23 years for Julio Franco.
Jeez, man.
Just a couple of
and he played a lot in overseas as well.
Oh, yeah. Just a couple of notables. Nolan Ryan, 27 years. Tommy John, 26. Ricky Henderson, 25. Jim Cott, now in the Hall of Fame, 25. Steve Carlton, 24. Omar Vizquel, 24. Dennis Eckersley and Roger Clemens and Phil Niekro, 24. Pete Rose, Ty Cobb, Carlton Fisk, 24 years. The great thing about Ty Cobb and Carlton Fisk, they played 24 years apiece, and they did it with only 2 franchises.
And Carlton Fisk was a catcher.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, imagine squatting like that every day for that many years. I mean,
George Blanda has played the most ever NFL games. He was a one-time quarterback, but, really, hung on forever. As a place kicker. As a matter of fact, the top 3 are place kickers when you look at Morton Anderson and Adam Vinatieri. Brady actually played 23 years.
Yeah, quarterbacks got to be right behind the kickers. In the NBA, I would say, of people your age are going to kill me for this, but I would put LeBron above Jordan because he's just played so much longer and just consistent. He didn't retire in the middle of his career and then come back later. Just consistent, really no major injuries, and performing at an insanely high level. So if I'm going to go longevity, I'd probably go LeBron over Jordan, even if you think Jordan was the better player. He's the all-time points leader for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And he still looks like he's got 2 years left in him, at least, which is crazy.
I wonder what the price tag would have been on Wilt Chamberlain. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Russell. It's hard to Mickey Mantle, Willie May. It's tough to take players from that era and think about if they were playing in this era, what they would actually be able to command, because everything's changed.
No free agency whatsoever back then in baseball.
But everything's changed. Half the athletes I mentioned didn't even use weights.
It's crazy.
They had no nutrition. The court was different. The ice was different.
The original, the bats.
The original 6, 180 feet in Toronto and Montreal, Detroit, Chicago, Boston, and New York.
What is it now?
Bandboxes. Some of those old stadiums, like Ebbets Field. You had to think 425 feet.
Now look at Yankee Stadium right now. It's a complete joke.
You can saw one off on right field.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I see Aaron Judge hit pop-ups to right field for home runs almost every night.
The lowering of the mound.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a big one.
Football. Rule changes.
Totally different sport.
Totally protecting offensive players. Just go back and I know you people go back and you watch NFL films. Just go and see what the game was like in the 60s and 70s and even through the 80s, where they would just absolutely try to decapitate quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs. It's all changed.
Oh, we got a good one on the text line. Cal Ripken, of course.
Yeah. 3173 points out Juan Soto, Mets, 15 years, $765 million. We could probably find out what he's already earned. Won huge money with the Washington Nationals, and then what he went over to didn't he spend 1 year in L.A. before going to San Diego?
No.
Who did that? That was Manny Machado.
Yeah.
My bad. Manny Machado spent like a half year in L.A.
Career earnings, he's made $204 so far.
He has?
Yes.
Okay, does that include this year?
Yes.
Okay, so he's still up well over $800 million if he lives out, and his contract's guaranteed.
Oh, yeah, everybody in baseball.
Yeah, they're all guaranteed contracts.
Dang. Yeah, so he makes almost $62 million in payroll salary this season.
Man.
Here's the problem, though. Yes, he did get up to $700, but it's that last $300. And it's a 15-year deal. Could you imagine someone signing for anything longer than this deal is going to go through his 41-year-old season.
Mm-hmm. And we're seeing what L.A. is doing with the deferring all their money.
Yeah.
Ohtani's going to be 60, and he's still making $30 million a year from the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Hate that rule. They got to change that. I don't mind not having a salary cap whatsoever. I almost prefer it because I like seeing these guys get paid so much. But the fact that the Dodgers can defer all that money really pisses me off.
They've taken totally advantage of it.
In the NBA, they only allow 25% of the salary to do that. I'd like to see something change in baseball.
I haven't really thought about that in NFL terms. I don't think it's ever something that you have to think that will occur. Okay. I think the NFL and the NFL Players Association right now are headed towards a a pretty interesting time and maybe a war. I think the latest stuff that has come out is going to do a good job of, or perhaps being a sticking point when they talk about 18 games. You want us to play an 18th game, and behind the scenes, we have proof that you are in collusion of not giving out guaranteed contracts. I mean, this is where the NFLPA years and years and years ago was so weak if you compare it to the baseball union. But they've gotten better. They've gotten tougher. Just look at everything. No more two-a-days, no more hitting, day off. I mean, everything else, the way it has changed, this may give them some serious bargaining. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here. I think this story is going to pop, though, with the NFL and the NFLPA. All right, we got much more to do. We'll get to the Jaguars. John Osher as well at 7 o'clock. And also Rafael Esparza coming up in our final hour. Best ways to join us, text line 641-1010. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can get us as well on YouTube. Go to 1010XL into the nights.
Summer Heat. 1010XL keeping your summer sports radio hot. Jacksonville's summer station. 1010XL.
I'm Chris Campione. Veterans have given so much in the service of our country, but when it comes to legal challenges, you shouldn't have to fight alone. At Campione Law, we're here to help veterans like you get the support and compensation you deserve. Whether it's a workplace injury, a personal injury claim, or navigating a veteran's disability claim, we'll stand by your side every step of the way. Your service to our country matters. Let us serve you with the dedication and respect you deserve. Call Campione Law for a free consultation today. Campione Law, fighting for veterans, fighting for justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Campione Law. Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Keeping kids active is a full-time job for parents. Look no further, though, than I-9 Sports, covering Duval, St. John's, and Clay to get your youngster in the game. Summer and fall registration open right now for flag football, soccer, t-ball, and basketball, plus girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows. Fields and gyms all over the First Coast, and the best thing is I-9 Sports offers sports year-round so kids can always find something to do. i9sports.com, enter 1010 in the promo code.
Do your summer plans include travel? Make sure your prep includes more than just flights and hotels. Stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccination, especially if you're 65 or older or have certain health conditions. There have been surges in COVID-19 in the summer, too. It's important to help protect yourself no matter your destination. So check eligibility and schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. That's VAXAssist.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On June 25th, 1997, the San Antonio Spurs select Tim Duncan from Wake Forest with the first overall pick in the 97 NBA Draft.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high-interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, No hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Born in Jacksonville, raised on Southern Rock, and coming home to the Florida Theater, it's Molly Hatchet. Saturday, June 28th. Get your fill of Southern Rock Fury. I'm going back to the Gator Country. Grab your seat at floridatheater.com. It's a hometown homecoming with Molly Hatchet.
It's Mike Dempsey, and now's the time to get your roof hurricane ready with Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacks Beach. Look, our rainy season is no joke, and if your roof's got damage, leaks, or it's just plain worn out, don't wait. Apex is local, dependable, and will show up on time using only premium materials with ironclad warranties. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work you can trust. Skip the storm season scramble. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacks Beach or visit apexroofingfl.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
David here with Royal Pest Services. It's back. Our summer Centricon Termite Special. New installs begin as low as $249. And if you have existing Centricon, but your renewal is through the roof, we can transfer you to Royal at no cost. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
NBA draft coming up tonight. A couple of people have asked about Chaz Lanier. Of course, played a UNF before going off to Tennessee. And who will go first here? William Clayton Jr. Every mock I've seen, Clayton Jr. is going first. But mock drafts are often wrong. Just look at Shedeur Sanders in the NFL. Now, that's a bizarre set of circumstances, but you know, GMs will tell you that sometimes they look at these mock drafts and laugh, but that's coming up tonight, beginning at 8 o'clock. The 9038 says, talking about the IVs now for hangovers. He said he went to a company summer party drunk, woke up in a hospital with a blood alcohol level of 0.272. That's like close to death, right? I mean, that's insane. They gave me an IV, and I was good to go. Says he went back to the bars afterwards. So,
Jesus.
You know,
at a work event?
That's not
you got
my
like that at a work event, bro? Jeez, man. I was always taught drink how, like, you can drink however much your boss is drinking at dinner or the event or whatever, until he goes past like drink number 3, and then you're done. Like, you should never get turned when your boss is around.
I think I've been been in 19 years. I've been to probably more than half of the
Christmas parties.
You know, I haven't. Of course, I work now during when it does take place.
Yeah, we like never get to go anymore.
Yeah. No, that's one thing that I would not put myself in that situation.
Doesn't sound fun.
The work party.
Yeah.
No. Well, that's where you kind of got to know.
You have like 3 tops.
When to say no.
Yeah.
Well.
And we work at a cool ass place too.
Yeah.
So
But we don't have a lot of drunks here.
No, we don't. We have a few. We have a couple that love a drink.
I mean, we've
myself included.
I know that's my reputation as a big drinker, but I also am one that has incredible tolerance.
Right.
And I never drive. That's the bottom line for me. I never drive.
Tolerance is the key word.
Right.
Like you can have, there's different levels of people having 3 drinks. Me and you can have 3 drinks for good. There's other people that work here have 3 drinks, not exactly.
If I was to list my goals for the remainder of my days, my number one goal is stay out of jail.
Wow,
the only way I'm going to go to jail is by getting boozed up and getting behind the wheel. That's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that I...
You don't have any vices.
Not like the Philly Godfather last night. I'm
moving weight.
I'm not moving weed. Okay? I mean, that's it. Yeah, I get angry when ball teams that I like lose, but that's it. I mean, that's really the only way. You know, I'm not a white-collar criminal. I'm not secretly laundering money somewhere or any of that. That would be it. And, yeah, I hate it for you. I tell you all the time, man. Go out and party, but damn, man, call an Uber, call a cab. Do what you need to do. Getting all these hangover remedies once again. This guy says the body armor works miracles. The 0916 says he's 61. He works construction. Let's tip my cap to him, man. It is hot out there.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Used to make fun of construction workers because you have 9 guys watching 1 guy in a ditch. But that was back where I was from in Boston. Around here, all the power to you. You shouldn't be working that hard. 6936 Blue. I get an IV at home anytime I'm hungover or fighting a cold. You can get it, an in-house IV, for between $80 and $100.
Interesting.
To me, that is sensational. Sign me up. Tell me who you use. Get back to me, 6936, because I
use your IV source.
That is great. Because, that whole thing about how you can sweat out a hangover or sweat out a cold, I think you can, but every time I Google it and read about it, they tell me that I'm dead wrong.
I always try. It was second I feel a cold coming, bro, I'm like out in the sun.
Yeah.
Orange juice, sweating. Yeah, I do whatever. I think it helps. Doesn't like completely stop it from coming, but I feel like it certainly helps me. I could be wrong. Could just be a placebo.
Yeah, like high school summers and going back. Even my first year at Florida State, I made the mistake of going back to Boston and
the weather change screws you up.
Those early years, I played Legion ball, so it was almost like being in the big leagues. Legion baseball, you had a game almost every night. But when I came back, it was like, party central, and you'd be out drinking, till midnight, 1, 2, and all of a sudden you're up at 5:36 to go work construction. And, man, you'd be feeling it. And let me tell you something, it'd be cold, you'd wear a flannel. And then by the time it became 11:30, high noon, it became in the high 80s. And, yeah, you would sweat it out. But, again, when I hop on the Google, they tell me that you sweating out a cold or sweating out that's not realistic.
Yeah, I don't know about a hangover. If anyone doesn't know, my hangover cure is it's marijuana. I'm gonna just be real with you. It helps. It really helps. The next morning, if you're really feeling it, man, smoke a little bowl. Like you will feel amazing.
Man, I would just
go to your local store. There's like 1,000 on every corner at this point.
I would just freak out.
I
would.
It helps your stomach. It helps your head. Oh, it's the perfect remedy for me.
I usually
not a lot, just like a few hits from a bowl. It just like totally heals. Not totally, but it usually does the trick.
I usually drink 184 ounces of draft Diet Mountain Dew. that's my
straight to the gas
That's
station.
my go-to. If you ever see me come in here with a draft Mountain Dew,
it was a rough night.
Yes. And that's at 6 o'clock.
There's also different hangovers. I mean, wine. If I have like 2 bottles of wine with my wife or something over dinner on a Friday night, like I feel way worse than if I have like 10 beers.
Oh yeah. See, for me, I mean, a beer hangover is so manageable because I've been doing it for years. But the problem is that when you start mixing in the Irish whiskey,
or
whatever that's when you really feel it the next day.
The brown, I'm a clear guy. I love vodka, and I really don't have that many issues. I'm also fairly young. Everyone's always told me, like, dude, just wait.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when you get older, hangovers really start to hit you a lot harder.
There's no question.
And I'm not at that point, I feel like, in my life yet.
I'll sign off on that. There's absolutely no question. I mean, let's face it, the best overall remedy ever for a hangover is sleep.
Yeah.
Nothing matches sleep.
Half of your feeling crappy the next day is because you didn't get, like, enough sleep or any sleep.
Had a lot of people ask me who was the first $1 million baseball player. It was Nolan Ryan. He signed a 4-year, $4 million deal with the Houston Astros back in 1979. $1 million a year for Nolan Ryan. Man, what he would make today.
Oh, man.
Just absolutely insane.
Probably have about 2 Tommy John surgeries.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. And look at all the complete games. I mean, not only is Nolan Ryan your all-time leader in no-hitters with 7, he's your all-time leader in 1-hitters and 2-hitters.
Wow.
And he played on some teams that weren't necessarily great. You know, imagine what his record would have been if he was on a perennial Major League Baseball playoff team. John Osher joins us, top of the hour.
Bring the sports bar to the middle of your workday.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
Joe C., Matt Hayes, and Leon Searcy.
They're here.
Where? XL Prime Time. Afternoons 2 to 4 on 1010XL.
Elbow pain, whether acute or chronic, can make it difficult to do normal activities like playing sports, doing household chores, or even sleeping comfortably. Dr. George Barry here, and no one wants to deal with pain without solutions on how to feel better. We've all heard of tennis and golfer's elbow, but there's plenty more that can cause pain, like osteoarthritis, muscle tears, and nerve entrapment. All are treatable at Barry Orthopedics. Getting you back to full health is our mission, and there's a number of different treatment options we can offer. Call us today or visit BarryOrthopedics.com.
And welcome back to another episode of Potty Talk with our current champion. So what's your secret to your perfect plumbing proficiency?
It's simple, really. Roland Reach Plumbing is always the right answer.
Roland Reach Plumbing, 260-7059.
Mia here, and I love my custom closet from Closets by Design. With summer in full swing, having my warm weather wardrobe front and center is a game changer. No more digging for the right outfit on a hot day. If your home needs a summer refresh, whether that be a closet, a garage, or a pantry, schedule a free in-home consultation with Closets by Design. And the offer has been extended, folks. Receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off. And free installation on any order of $750 or more. Visit closetsbydesign.com.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to our website, CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com. And let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
It's hurricane season. Protect your home with 904 Gutters with a Z. That's right. Z as in zone defense for your home. Water damage hits hard. 904 Gutters with a Z hits back harder. Search 904 Gutters with a Z and make the right call.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball is home at newly renovated Five Star Ballpark this week. Tomorrow, all military get free tickets courtesy of Ascension St. Vincent's, and it's Coors Light Thirsty Thursday. Then it's Red Shirt Friday with fireworks followed by more fireworks and a Wizard Club giveaway Saturday, all courtesy of Maxwell House. Meet Bluey on Baptist Health Sunday Family Fun Day. Baseball all week and weekend.
I'm Brendan with Checkmate Coatings. Pool decks, driveways, garages, patios, we coat them all to make your neighbors jealous.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
The best golfing weather is upon us, and Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to enjoy your next round of golf with us. Our welcoming atmosphere and love for golf keep our friends coming back. Check us out at hiddenhillsgc.com. You'll be glad you did.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. WM is the largest sustainability company in North America. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Your services will be completed in a timely, safe, and eco-friendly manner. Go to WM.com/Duval. That's WM.com/Duval and get signed up today. If anyone can talk trash, it's the Mangler.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Pacifico, discovered by accident.
Yeah, the story goes, a group of friends went down to Mexico looking for some legendary wings. They never found them. But what they did find was something even better. An unforgettable Mexican lager.
Where'd you hear that?
Tell your next great story with a friend and a delicious Pacifico Mexican lager.
Pacifico, find your own way.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
And that guest, of course, is our good friend John Osher. He is the senior writer at Jaguars.com. Hello, John.
Rick, how are you, buddy?
Doing great. Thank you. I know you're going through a little bit of withdrawals. I am as well. The Stanley Cup final is no longer with us.
Yeah, Rick, you were way ahead of me. I thought sure Edmonton was going to, win in 6. And I don't know enough about hockey to know that when you can go 3 or 4 deep in the lines and you hit like Florida, they're strong, and it prevents them from getting upset a lot, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
Physicality.
Yep.
It's no stars, but boy, are they, in 6 games, did you ever feel like Edmonton was a better team?
No, I did not.
That surprised me. I know it surprised you a little bit.
Well, I thought Florida was a better team, but I did think that, it's so hard to repeat. That's why that's why I thought Edmonton was going to be able to eke this thing out. And, Connor McDavid now, he's 1 year away from free agency. They're starting to mention in Edmonton that this could be reminiscent of the Buffalo Bills, of getting to the Super Bowl every year, in this case, getting to the Stanley Cup every year, but not having enough power to win it.
Yeah. And, again, you know far more than I do, but watching the Cup, a change happens in a year, but you wonder if he wants to stick around if they can't build more infrastructure. But, it was fun. I thought it was a great playoff.
Yeah, it was. Florida's just so, they're so deep, as you pointed out. 3 scoring lines, great checking line, unbelievable defense, 6 guys on the blue line. Best goaltender in the world. And then there's Brad Marchand. There's a lot of talk that he may go back to Boston. He's a free agent.
Now, would you love that, Rick?
Yeah, I would. I would. Okay. I mean, the difference. I mean, the Ray Bourque thing 20 years ago stung me because Bourque wanted out, went to Colorado, won a Stanley Cup, brought the Stanley Cup back to Boston, which just drove me insane. At that point, Boston hadn't won a cup since 1972. And they were a third world city.
At that age, but that sticks with you.
Yeah. Actually, I was working in Chicago when that happened. I remember just going crazy, like, how can you do this to us? But it's him with Marchand. He didn't want to get traded. He wanted to he wanted to stay there. Let's begin with Travis Hunter. It was a little bit time consuming. And some people, as you know, were getting a little bit concerned, a little bit worried. I'm talking about Jaguar fans. I think that just about everyone in the building that you work at, the Miller Electric Center, and others who cover the team, knew that this thing was going to get done. But they did get it done, and I guess the conversation was how to pay the signing bonus. I admire the way that the Jaguars handled this. What's your thought?
Well, it was going to get done because there's really no way that it won't get done in this, in the rookie cap era, usually when stuff lingers, it's exactly what it was this time. It's not a matter of what a player is going to get paid. It's when and in what form. It's stuck with the wage scale. It's just a matter of getting it all up front. Is that a big deal? I guess it is if you are working for Spot Rack, right? Or if it's that sort of thing where you're into sort of how contracts are structured. But the NFL, with the rookie wage scale, they've rightly taken so much drama out of this in the last 15 years that it was great that they did it. But there was never any sense inside the building that it wasn't going to get done.
Right. I think it's good business. I mean, you gave up so much to move up and draft him. They've said all the right things. They think he's the best player in the draft. They think he's going to be a huge part of changing around this franchise. If they were to hold out because of a signing bonus situation, I just think that would have been a bad deal. And they didn't. They gave it to him up front. Now it'll never be talked about again, or at least it won't for quite some time. And he's a happy young man. He can come in and get ready for camp.
Yeah, and again, I think that there was really no sense that this wasn't going to happen. And, I guess we're getting to the point now, Rick, where some of the listeners don't really remember 15 years ago. You and I remember distinctly, it was a norm for any first-round pick to hold out. It set him back. Mm-hmm. And it sort of makes me smile that we're sitting here talking about whether or not it was going to be the whole up-front bonus in place, and it's getting done in, June 22nd. And that felt like news when in the old days, up until 2010, they didn't even start negotiating with first-round picks until late July sometime. So that's how much it's changed. I just never thought that it wasn't going to happen because it never doesn't happen now. So he's the story, and now he's a different story. Now it's no longer off the field, it's on the field.
John Osher, I guess, senior writer, Jaguars.com. Yeah, I remember, I think it was September 1st, 1998. I'm sure you were with me as well. We were at Soldier Field, and it was a come-from-behind victory for the Jaguars against the Bears in one of the hottest days ever in Chicago. And Curtis Enis tapped out. He was a first-round holdout. Yeah. He was out of shape, and they went with Jacksonville's wide receiver coach, Edgar Bennett, trying to push it in and score. The Jaguars had a huge goal line stand, won that game.
Yeah, the absurdity of that looking back. I remember when I went, started covering the Colts for the last 10 years of the old agreement. Mm-hmm. And if there was anything that people inside that building, they were drafting late, so they didn't deal with it as much. But if there was anything that Bill Polian, who was obviously very influential in terms of, thinking how the league worked back then, he used to say all the time, the absurdity of the rookie scale not existing hurt so many rookies.
No doubt.
Because it's already so hard. And then all of a sudden they were holding out. So it's still hard for rookies to come in and contribute. So thank goodness they fixed that.
I went on to spend 7 years in Chicago. I can't remember a day that was even close to being as hot as it was on that particular day in 1998. That was one of the hottest football games I have ever been to. Bashal Tuten, he signs today. So, everything's taken care of. Logan Cook, a couple of weeks ago, re-signed. Does anything else happen? Trayvon Walker, do you see that happening? What do you think here over the next less than a month until training camp begins?
I don't know that it will because I'm not sure that either side necessarily is any hurry to get it done. The Jaguars love Trayvon, and I feel like I know Trayvon a little bit from having spent some time with him. I think he loves being here. But from both sides, there is an element of, hey, this is a new regime. So although we love this guy, let's get a few games on field and see how it works and see how it looks in terms of how much we want to pay franchise level money. That's what it's going to cost with Trayvon Walker. As much as he gets criticized for whatever, it's going to be, if he hits free agency, I haven't looked at the list.
Mm-hmm.
If he ever hits free agency, he's one of the top two or three guys automatically.
Yeah.
Teams would line up.
Mm-hmm.
So Trayvon's people know this, but there's also an element. He's had back-to-back double-digit sack seasons. If they think there's more there, they could also be in a Josh Allen situation a couple of years ago. So they said, hey, let's just see what numbers we get. I don't think Trayvon Walker's value is going to go down no matter what he does this year.
Mm-hmm.
On his point, the value could go up. I think it gets done. My guess is this gets done halfway through the season. Everybody realizes, yeah, this is the guy that we want to be one of our core, and that it gets done. I've sensed no animosity or concern from either side yet because there's no deadline yet.
Last one for you, John. A year ago, when camp got underway, there were several guys who weren't ready. They were either not involved in any contact drills, and, Eric Armstead was on the pup, but Darnell Savage wouldn't hit, and Gabe Davis wasn't 100%. Feels like, all right, Cooper Hodges is one thing, but it feels like, for the most part, this 91-man roster is going to be pretty set when camp does start.
Yeah, I got a question about that the other day, and I was trying to think if there had been anybody during camp that was even remotely a storyline, and maybe Trevor a little bit, coming back and throwing light a couple of days. But it is ready to go. I wouldn't expect anybody on PUP outside Hodges, but Hodges feels more like long-term, like they really hope he can get right and someday help them.
Yeah.
Beyond that, they should be good to go. And, that's better than the alternative.
No
They're
doubt.
Be good to go on July 24th.
Absolutely. John Osher, ladies and gentlemen. Read him at Jaguars.com. He is the senior writer, including the Ozone, which he does do daily. Always a pleasure, John. Thanks.
Rick, thanks, buddy.
There he goes, John Osher. Good stuff. Yeah, for those of you who may have forgotten, or maybe it slipped by you, maybe you didn't stack pads, like Ken Dryden, like Jerry Cheevers, like Bernie Perrant, like Tony Esposito, like Grant Fuhrer, like Andy Moog. Who else do I want to go with here? Who's the great other Canadian? I can't even think of his name. Head coach of Colorado. He's still a head coach. Patrick Waugh. But anyway, Cooper Hodges is back. They cut him. They said that he failed the physical, and then they brought him back like 24 hours later after he apparently cleared waivers. So, he's a local kid. A lot of people like him. But the good news here is that, and I don't know the classification. I don't know what was said. But I'm under the belief that this new regime said, get yourself healthy. You're going to get paid for another year. We still believe that you could possibly help this football team in 2026. So, it was good for him. And he gets to stay here in town and work at the best facility in the NFL over at the Miller Electric Center. I mean, a week does not go by and hasn't gone by over the last 2 years where I don't get the obligatory, do you think Cooper Hodges can be the starter at right guard? And the first 2 years, the answer to that has been no, because he can't get healthy. Missed his entire first year, then got some reps last year and went out with the injuries. Unless something shocking happens, I would assume that he is going to miss the entire 2025 year, but hopefully it will be ready for 2026. All right, we got much more to do. Good to have you with us tonight. He is JJ LaSelva. My name is Rick Ballou. We'll check in with the NBA draft and Cooper Flagg at just a unanimous selection for the top overall seed. We'll do that with Rafael Esparza coming up in Las Vegas. That'll be in about 20 minutes.
There's a magic in live radio that crackles with life and energy.
Let's go home!
Your home for live play-by-play is 1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy.
Jacksonville, Florida. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com.
Cool Cats Heating and Cooling, the coolest cats in town, setting the standard in our hometown. Quality service, the best around. Coolidge is the cat that cares about your heating and about your air. Cool Cats Heating and Cooling, the coolest cats in town.
When it comes to towing products, your safety is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On June 25th, 1997, the San Antonio Spurs select Tim Duncan from Wake Forest with the first overall pick in the 97 NBA Draft.
Rebound Rehabilitation. 11 great locations across the First Coast, and they're just a click away when it comes to feeling strong and healthy again. If you need the best path to recovery, look no further than Rebound Rehab. Log on and check out one of their great 11 locations.
Here's your 1010XL community calendar of local events and nonprofit groups helping people here at home.
Find out how you can be part of the cure for blood cancer at the Light the Night Walk at ViStar Ballpark November 22nd. Take the first step at lightthenight.org.
Veterans, first responders, and law enforcement officers deserve the best treatment. That's why ETMS Florida provides a free, drug-free electromagnetic treatment that helps lower symptoms of PTSD, anxiety, insomnia, and depression. Learn more at etmsflorida.com.
Hope Haven believes in children and youth with special needs and abilities and has developed programs to help ensure their success. Find out more about their employment services and internship program at hope-haven.org.
There's a critical need for all blood types. Please consider donating at a local blood donation center.
You can find out how to share your community event at 1010XL.com.
Spring has sprung, and so have the bugs. It's Hayes Carline and my friends at Kingfish Pest Control offer an exclusive $99 spring special. That's right, your initial pest control service is just $99. And if you call today, they'll include a free one-time mosquito treatment. Kingfish Pest Control is family-owned, 5-star rated with no binding contracts and 100% satisfaction guarantee. Call them now to book your service. Only at Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, Hicken here. Tired of glasses or contacts? Discover customized vision solutions at Bowden Eye & Associates. Dr. Bowden's team offers cutting-edge options like Evo implantable Collamer lenses or refractive lens exchange and classic LASIK, designed to fit your life. Picture perfect vision for reading, driving, or just enjoying the day. It's easier than you think. Call now for your free screening. Bowden Eye & Associates, they're keeping the First Coast focused.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Are your kids ready to play this summer? Come check out The Y. Summer is a time for kids to explore new things and expand the limits of their imagination. At The Y, summer camps every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, outdoor games, and more. Registration is now open, but space is limited, and spots are filling up quickly. Learn more and find your adventure at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
We move closer to both Rafael Esparza joining us live from Las Vegas and the NBA draft, where Cooper Flagg is the unanimous top pick. He will go to the Dallas Mavericks unless there's some crazy type of trade that actually does happen. Again, you bet $1,000 on Cooper Flagg to be the top pick. You return $1. I mean, it's just nuts. And Spot Track did a great job today saying that he could actually end up being the first ever billion-dollar player in team athletics if you look at money coming straight from the league, in this case, the association. I'm not talking about endorsements. All right? So we JJ and I earlier, kind of looked at Babe Ruth and Hank Aaron and Tom Brady and Wilt Chamberlain and Michael Jordan. If you put them in this era, who would be billion-dollar athletes? Well, I mentioned Nolan Ryan, 27 years. The 3217 says, Ballou, Nolan Ryan, the most overrated baseball player ever. 300 wins, 300 losses. Most strikeouts, most walks. Never won Cy Young, never led Major League Baseball in earned run average. So many players were way better. Okay, I'm shocked by this. I think you have to take into consideration who Nolan Ryan played for, right? That's a little bit of one. And I think historically speaking, old school baseball, you look at wins and you look at losses and you look at earned run average, okay? 324 and 292 with a 3.19 ERA. During his career, we never spoke about WAR. During his career, we never spoke about WHIP. His WAR is 83.6. His WHIP is 1.24. I did pull up career leaders all time in WAR. Now, a lot of these are way back, in the day. Cy Young, Walter Johnson, 1 and 2, Kid Nichols, Grover Alexander, Lefty Grover, 4, 5, 6. Let's see. Christy Mathewson is 10. Warren Spahn, that's a little bit later. That's in the 50s. But he was 21. Eddie Plank, 16. John Clarkson, 18. So let's get away from that and move to the more of the modern day era. Okay? Highest WAR ever. Modern day. Roger Clemens, 138.7. Number 2, Tom Seaver, 106.1. Granted, Seaver didn't play on great teams. They were teammates with, the miracle win. As a matter of fact, when the Mets won in 86, a lot of people don't remember Tom Seaver was actually on the Red Sox. He got traded from the White Sox to the Red Sox, but it came after the Major League trade deadline. He was not eligible to play in the playoffs. Maddox third, 104.8. Randy Johnson comes in at 103.5. Phil Necro, 97. Burt Blyleven, 96.1. Gaylord Perry, 93. Pedro Martinez, 86.1. Steve Carlton, 84.1. And then Nolan Ryan, 20th all-time as a pitcher. Probably 10th all-time if we did it with modern-day pitchers at 83.6. But ahead of Fergie Jenkins, ahead of Bob Gibson, ahead of Mike Mussina, ahead of Justin Verlander, ahead of Kurt Schilling, ahead of Clayton Kershaw, ahead of Max Scherzer, ahead of Tom Glavine, ahead of Zach Greinke, Don Sutton, Jim Palmer, John Smoltz, Louis Tiant, the late Louis Tiant, the late Roy Halladay, Bob Feller. These are some pretty sensational. Juan Marshall, Don Drysdale. So I disagree. And I love that conversation about overrated, underrated. I think Joe Namath is the most overrated Hall of Fame quarterback in the history of the NFL. And I stand by that. And others will argue and say, well, he changed the game. He threw the ball deep. The hits he took. Didn't play on a great team. Yada, yada, yada. It's always a very good conversation. But you are the first person who I have ever heard say that Nolan Ryan is the most overrated baseball player. Nolan Ryan had 222 complete games. 222. He had 61 shutouts. So there you go. Everyone's entitled to an opinion, and we'll share it with you here on the program. We don't hide from that. But yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. How about you?
I get his point because when I tell you my most overrated player, people are going to freak out. I get his point because, youngsters, people like me will think, oh, I don't think this. I know it wasn't true, but people just assume that Nolan Ryan was one of the greatest of all time, and then you look at his stats, and you're like, he wasn't, he's not one of the greats, one of the, top 20, I would say, pitchers of all time, but he's still probably close to that. I'm not sure. But people, if you just say Nolan Ryan, some people think like, oh, he's like one of the best. He's like a top 5 pitcher of all time. That's not true. So in that sense, he is overrated. I'm about to give you a guy that's the same thing, has career accolades similar to Nolan Ryan, has accomplished everything, but to me, he was never one of the best players in the league, and that's Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter, 3,000 hits, bunch of homers, won a bunch of World Series, but, I mean, Derek Jeter was never the best shortstop, even in the American League. He was never the best player on his own team. To me, he was a singles hitter, hit it the opposite way, and he was a decent fielder. To me, the plays, backhanded plays, jumping through the air, that's his signature play. To me, I see that every day in baseball now almost. Derek Jeter, if you just ask a casual fan, an average Joe sports fan, who'll think that Derek Jeter was one of the greatest players of all time. He's not even close to that. And then he got into the Hall of Fame first ballot easily. I'll give him that. But to me, Derek Jeter, most overrated player in the history of baseball. When I say that, people lose their mind. Frank Frangie wanted to fight me when I said that. But I'm just saying, in the context of what people think he was and what he actually was, the production he was the captain of the Yankees when they were winning tons of World Series. So obviously he's going to have a crazy, awesome reputation.
He was absolutely helped by the fact that he played in New York. I mean, if he played in Atlanta, if he played in, when Tampa came in or when Florida came, I agree with you. Yeah. He was helped out by that.
Great player.
Right.
Hall of Famer. I'm saying all that. I'm just saying he wasn't as good as people remember him to be. I don't think he was worthy of being a first ballot Hall
310 lifetime hitter. Let's look at his WAR. 71.3. I mean, that's nowhere near the greats of the game. That's not even the same stratosphere of the greats in the game. And, A-Rob was a better shortstop at the time. I thought Nomar Garcia-Parra was complimentary.
He was a better hitter
of
in
Jeter.
His prime. Nomar was.
Jeter won after a lull in New York, and he was a captain, and he played his entire career there, and he was absolutely beloved.
The moments, too. The Jeremy Giambi play, the play against the Red Sox in the stands, diving into the stands. He hits a home run on his 3,000th hit, I think. His last game, he has a walk-off RBI. Just everything about him was box office, and that certainly helped.
Interesting stuff. We got to head to this break and bring in Rafael Esparza, but when I think of from the 70s on, if I was to pick a rotation, I don't know if I'd have Nolan Ryan in it. I tell you right now.
That's probably to the guy's point.
Yep. I tell you right now who my number one ace would be. That's Bob Gibson. Okay? He was absolutely ruthless. He'd be my number one guy. After that, probably would go Roger Clemens. I would. And then I would probably turn things around and go to the lefty in Randy Johnson. Pedro, I got to pick Pedro Martinez. That guy was unhittable during his prime. And then I'd probably pick Greg Maddux. All right, so look who I left out. I left out Tom Seaver and Jim Palmer. I mean, just phenomenal players. Absolutely.
Yeah, to me, Randy Johnson, most dominant pitcher I've ever seen.
Yeah. There's so many good ones.
Clemens is up there. Maddux, obviously. Like those are the three for me. Pedro. But like that I've watched, those 3 or 4 were just unhittable in their prime. Randy Johnson specifically, just the most dominant pitcher I've ever seen in my life.
I never saw Gibson really pitch during his time. I've seen video.
His numbers are outrageous.
I have an old school 1970 Bob Gibson poster hanging in my bar. It's pretty rare for you to be in my bar if it's not Boston. Okay? I mean, I got Florida State stuff up in there. I got a few Jaguar things up in there. But it's rare. And I've got one of Gibson. He was just incredible. And the thing that I admired about him so much is that he hated everyone. He just wouldn't talk to people, you know? I didn't mention Sandy Koufax. Sandy Koufax had a Tony Baselli career. You know, he had a Kirby Puckett, Bobby Orr career. Yeah. I mean, just absolutely filthy, but it was during a very short period of time. So that is intriguing, though. The most over, I'm sure they have lists. I've never really looked at it. To me, the most overrated player has always been Joe Namath. Again, if you look at the Joe Namath numbers, no matter which way you try to cook those books, they look just
very
terrible.
average. Yeah, to below average.
But there's another, New York City guy, flamboyant. All the men wanted to be like him. All the women wanted to be with him. And as a huge underdog, poolside in Miami with Brent Musburger as a reporter on site, he guaranteed a victory. And that's what he's remembered for.
Oh, yeah. How come we don't get poolside interviews Super Bowl week anymore? That's a shame, media. Do better.
Yeah, I mean, the whole Super Bowl has become
so corporate. And
oh, yeah. It's just about, hey, you know, I'm pumping this product. I'm pumping that product. Radio Row, when I started in this business, Radio Row used to be so much fun.
Now it's like,
now it's
everyone's whoring themselves out for some chip company, or
I don't even think we've been the last several years.
No, not since COVID. We used to go every Mike would go every single year, and I don't think we've been since COVID.
I mean, I've been to Seattle, Phoenix several times, Miami, Tampa, Atlanta. Trying to think, we're up New Orleans. I mean, I've been to plenty of these, and they were always enjoyable. But then you're exactly right. It's about who knows who, and it's pumping a product. And then, you know, unfortunately, a lot of people who go to the Super Bowl aren't even really fans of the NFL.
No. It's like corporate tickets. And yeah, I remember I had a buddy who went to the Bengals buddy of mine who lives in Ohio, went to the game a few years back, whenever that was. And he was like, first of all, his tickets were like $4,000. And the atmosphere, he said, was so odd, you know, because you do have some people there like him who are hardcore fans, paid all this money, brought his son, they're pumped. And then you're sitting next to a guy who got tickets from, like, I don't know, his work, you know, some Sony executives or something.
It was that way in London, too. If I look at the first year I went to London, there were fans from every team. And then my final time there, 7 years, we didn't go COVID year. It was far more Jaguar fans.
Good.
You know, they had gotten it. They had developed as a fan base, and you saw that improve years 1 through 7. But there was a dramatic difference between the 7th year that I went and the first year that I did go. So, yeah, another big event. For those of you who have never been, you got that opportunity this year. I can't think of a better way to watch a Jaguars home game than London. No, not me. That's the one thing I don't miss. I just was not a fan. And strike me down, do whatever you want. I wish this football team played all of their games right here in Duval. Let's go to Las Vegas. That's a fun place for a Super Bowl. Brand new stadium, right? Year 2 now, maybe year 3 with the Raiders. We'll check in with our good friend Rafael Esparza.
Where winning begins.
Gentlemen, if you keep playing like this, I promise you, you will leave this field winners. Get in there!
1010XL.
That's what I'm talking about.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple of years ago. When it's smooth as silk, Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. With Lee and Kate's glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit LeeandKatesGlass.com.
With Lee and Kate's glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
If you're 35 to 75, you could get life insurance today. No medical exam needed. I'm Cody with Harborstone Financial. One call could protect your family for life. Call me today, 904-885-9566.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Listen to whatever you like, whenever you want.
I like this.
1010XL on demand. Ad-free shows after the live shows end. Shuttled by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Search where you find podcasts.
Hey, Hickett here for my friends at Zero Res. Gang, vacuuming is not sufficient to maintain the cleanliness and lifespan of your carpet, period. Do not, let me repeat, do not leave deep cleaning to yourself, but do-it-yourself dirt-attracting carpet soaking machines. No. Call on the cleaning freaks from Zero Res. Big summer savings. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129. Take 20% off air duct cleaning as well. Call them, 904-287-5727, and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Do your summer plans include travel? Make sure your prep includes more than just flights and hotels. Stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccination, especially if you're 65 or older or have certain health conditions. There have been surges in COVID-19 in the summer, too. It's important to help protect yourself no matter your destination. So check eligibility and schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. That's VAXAssist.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
The 2025 season schedule has dropped, and single game tickets are on sale now. Be at the bank to watch Travis Hunter, Trevor Lawrence, and the Jaguars take on the biggest names in the NFL. Don't miss your favorite matchup and secure your tickets now by visiting Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. See you this fall, Jags fans.
Yes, sir. That's the best decision.
I love it. Life is just so busy this time of year. Between work, the kids' games, family vacations, I need a yard hero to free up my weekends.
You mean somebody who does mowing and trimming?
Yeah.
How about mosquito control?
Yeah.
What about irrigation and pet waste removal?
You do that too? You're my lawn hero.
Find your lawn hero at heroeslawncare.com. Heroes Lawn Care, because every lawn needs a hero.
Hey, Hickett Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
If you're tired of weekend projects turning into weekend disasters, you're not alone. Building a fence isn't as easy as it looks. And let's face it, your neighbor still hasn't fixed his lopsided masterpiece. But Superior Fence and Rail makes it easy. Highly trained professionals, top quality materials, and a fence you'll love for years to come. Skip the stress and call the pros today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
Rafael Esparza joins us. He is in Las Vegas. We always take a look at the very latest in the world of handicapping. How's the summer going, Rafael?
It's hot. Everywhere you go, it's hot.
Yeah.
West Coast, South, East Coast, it's hot. Everywhere it's hot.
Tell you who's hot is the betting situation. Actually, it's anything but hot on Cooper Flag. Is anything happening here? I could not believe $1,000 to win $1 in some books.
No, I've been telling everyone today, I mean, this draft is just a one-person draft, Cooper Flag. And everything else, I think you're just drafting role players. I don't see someone in the draft that's going to push someone over or make an all-star team in the next couple of years. So hopefully I'm wrong, but it's just Cooper Flag and everyone else is drafting role players.
Is anyone playing this on either side?
Not really. It's probably one of the weakest NBA drafts I've seen betting-wise, not potential-wise, but betting-wise I haven't seen action coming through the window. Because I think there's going to be so much movement, I think, over the summer star-wise. I think that's what people want. They don't want the draft. They want, okay, where's Giannis going to play? Who's the Knicks head coach going to be? What's the Phoenix Suns going to do? I mean, I think there's so many question marks besides the NBA draft. I think that's what people are looking for.
We talked about this preview in the series. It was ridiculous for Oklahoma City. I think they were minus 750 to win it, but obviously Indiana did some really impressive stuff here as a major underdog. When it was all said and done, 7-game series, how did the books end up?
Books end up losing a little bit just because we had so much action on OKC pretty much all season long. It helped that they won 7 games because everyone thought gentleman sweep. That was probably one of the most popular bets was OKC winning in 5. So that helped us out. But throughout the whole, if you gather all the futures, it was a small loss.
We've been talking a little bit about UFC as of late, and it feels like the star power is not close to where it once was. How much of an effect has that had at the window?
I think that has a lot of effect. And then the weak cards that we've seen weekend after weekend after weekend. I mean, this one right now, UFC 317, all right, Charles Oliveira is a name, but what kind of name was a $3 underdog? I mean, so what's that going to do through the betting window? There's no other big name on this card besides that. I mean, there's some interesting fights on the card, but I just don't see someone that's going to have a dominating match or win and say, "Ooh, well, you know what? That's the new person we're going to root for in UFC." Maybe Kara France, if he can pull out the upsets, I think that one might. That's a big might, but it's a lot of, I hate to say no names on the card.
Now, I watched Tuperia win here. I don't know if it was a year and a half, 2 years or so ago. He won a fight here in Jacksonville. Still undefeated. He didn't move the needle at all?
I think if he wins dominating force, I think maybe if it doesn't go to the second round, then yes, then I think he's up for a big name fight, and I think they're finally going to push him just because they need to push someone. I mean, we saw John Jones announce if he retire. O'Malley loses his last fight. So they need someone. So if he has a dominating force and he beats a name, Charles Oliveira, a name, then I think they have, I hate to say no choice to push him, but I would not be shocked if they put all the cards on him.
All right, Rafael, in June, we saw the College Softball World Series, the College Baseball World Series, the United States Open, the NBA Championship, and the Stanley Cup Final. 5 new champions have been crowned. Outside of baseball, what are people betting on right now?
I hate to say it, but don't forget, do you know what Saturday is? Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in the boxing ring at Anaheim. That will probably get more action than the main event of UFC 317, so I keep an eye for that one. A lot of action on soccer. I think a lot of people are enjoying the FIFA World Cup. I can't wait to Sunday's match to see Inter Miami versus PSG. I mean, what a way to end Sunday's soccer ring, and the USA plays in the Gold Cup. They play Costa Rica. So a lot of people are betting on soccer because it's on TV. You can watch all these matches. If you have stuff on TV, people are going to bet it. And like I said, USA is playing in a Gold Cup against Costa Rica.
Rafael, I'm still disappointed that they took down your website. How can people reach you?
Yeah, I'm still working on some certain stuff. I got some stuff cooking. So we'll hopefully the feds will be nice to me next time. But you can find me on YouTube. At Rafael Esparza. You can find me over on VSI.Sports on X, Instagram, Rafael Esparza. So you can still find me in places, and I'll post tidbits of what I have been posting for prop bets, but there's something cooking. We'll put it that way.
Always a lot of fun. Thank you, man.
Take it easy.
Here he goes, Rafael Esparza.
Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Yeah, we just got off the horn with Rafael. That's pretty incredible with Cooper Flagg. Again, the wagers on this. Got $1,000 to win $1. So that's coming up in about 15 minutes or so. I certainly didn't have the hype around here. We spend literally months previewing the National Football League draft. You have the NBA draft tonight. You have the NHL draft tomorrow night. And you have the June amateur Major League Baseball draft coming up as well. Really the highlighted story today, well, locally it was Bayshell Tuten signed. So I'm under the belief now that everyone is in as far as rookies and the Jaguars. I believe that is in fact the case, that all of their draft picks are signed. But today, really the center of the sports universe was Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the beer town, which is, in my opinion, one of the more underrated cities. I love Milwaukee. I do. I just was always a big fan of it. When my kids were young, I mean, my wife at the time, we would always go to Wrigley Field and do that. Friends come in, we go to Wrigley, but took the young kids over there to Miller Park in Milwaukee. I just like the whole downtown area, but that's where you had the 2 youngsters today. Everyone aware of Paul Skeens, right? The tremendous year and a half that he has had. Read an article this morning about him possibly becoming a 30-game winner. We haven't had that since Denny McClain. It's not going to happen in Pittsburgh. You'd have to move on to a prominent team. But taking on this youngster, Mirazowski, and I don't know anything about him. He's only made 3 starts. He's now 3-0. He outdueled him today. 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs, struck out 8. Skeens got rocked around a little bit in his 4 innings, gave up 4 hits, 4 runs, walked a couple, and struck out 4. So, I don't think it's too often at any time that you're going to center the big story of the day, especially in baseball, being Milwaukee and Pittsburgh. Well, guess what? That was the case earlier this afternoon.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Service by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
Hacker Nation is here. He will have his eyes all over the NBA draft. Where's Clayton Jr. going?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up with you, and I want to see how you would handle this. Walter Clayton Jr., all the prognostications have him going 20 to Miami.
Yeah.
So Walter Clayton Jr. is a guy that, quite frankly, I loved, for the last year and what he did for Florida and is going to go down in Gator history. There's a very good chance he goes to my bitter enemy tonight because as an Orlando fan, I'm programmed to very much dislike the Miami Heat. How do I handle this situation?
No bearing, no change. The only player I can ever think of that changed me was when Tom Brady went to Tampa.
Okay.
But that is in the different conference of Jacksonville, in a different conference of New England. I understand your situation with Orlando. I think it's one of those deals where you secretly kind of hope that Clayton Jr. has a nice career, but you want Miami to lose.
Yeah, I'll root for Walter Clayton. I can't root for anything associated with the Miami Heat. I almost relate it. We had Derrick Henry in studio a bunch when he was at Yulee and obviously followed his great career at Alabama. And of all the teams to go to, he had to go to the Titans. Yeah. And that was just brutal, man.
Oh, yeah.
Of any team, it was the Titans. That's kind of the same thing. I rooted for Derrick, couldn't stand Tennessee. I guess I'll have to do that because, again, Walter Clayton Jr. basically spelled it out. He did 2 workouts with the Heat, then he canceled every other workout he had. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. If he's there at 20, he's probably going to the Miami Heat, which apparently would be the first time ever the Heat draft a player from Florida. Udonis Haslem wasn't drafted. He was an undrafted free agent that made the team. I read that earlier that Miami has never drafted a Florida Gator.
So I think if you're drafted or traded, that's one thing. If you leave, like Clemens did, like Roger Clemens did go to New York, or Wade Boggs did, that'll boil your
Johnny Damon.
Well, you know what, though? It was different with Damon because they had finally won a couple of world championships.
Okay, that makes sense.
That lessens the blow a little bit. And the Clemens-Boggs situation, Boston still hadn't won since 1918.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, all right, NBA draft tonight. What else?
Yeah, we'll talk a little NBA draft. JP Shadrick, Jaguars.com will join me as we'll look ahead to training camp. Also, my buddy Zig Fracassi. You hear him on SiriusXM NFL Radio and SiriusXM NHL Radio. We'll kind of recap the Florida Panthers Stanley Cup a little bit, but primarily we'll talk to Zig about Travis Hunter, the Jaguars, and the rest of the AFC South.
Sounds good. Have a great show.
Thanks, Rick.
That's Hacker Nation. He's coming up right now. That's it for us. I don't check YouTube or I do not check the text line when the show is over. I just don't have the technology to do it. I'm not savvy enough. But I enjoyed all your opinions, as I always do, and they are certainly welcome. JJ, you gone now? You're not back tomorrow, right?
This is it for me.
I'm going to miss you, man. I enjoyed it. He is JJ LaSelva. Thank you. Thank you to John Osher. Thank you to Rafael Esparza. My name is Rick Ballou. Enjoy the NBA draft. We'll talk again